Bat Force Radio.
Bat Force Radio is rated M for mature, or should that be immature?
Grumps Gramps, tons of lasso Grumps and Gramps. Grumps Gramps, tons of lasso Grumps and Gramps. Grumps Gramps, tons of lasso Grumps and Gramps.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Grumps and Gramps Show. This is episode number 9, and this is our holiday Christmas episode. So we're very pleased to have with us another guest. It is Doug Urbanik, otherwise known as Batman Figures 412. And also, we've got a Bat Force Tom stopping by. So thank you very much, Doug, for joining us. And Tom, I guess, don't fuck things up too much.
As long as I don't have to do the intro, I think we'll be okay.
So, how's everybody doing?
Good, man. Good. Thanks for having me on, guys. I'm honored.
Is it snowing
honored.
up there?
It is. It is. And my bat cave is in my basement, which I do have heat down here, but it's still a little cold.
Me too. I'm in the basement too. I'm freezing.
A little
I
cold.
think it was like 69 today.
Yeah, I was in the 60s.
Yeah, that's like pretty weather for you guys in California.
Oh,
Rub it in.
Yeah, I had to take the flip flops off and put jeans on.
Grumps, we were talking about how it looks like this nor'easter could kill Christmas, man.
Nah, not quite.
Keep those
it's
figs
not
from
snowing
getting
yet today.
delivered. Oh, so the figs will be delivered by Christmas Day.
Oh yeah, I got some fig deliveries yesterday. Thank God.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Some nice.
I've got a few things lost in the mail, I guess.
Oh, shit. Right now?
Yes, I think I have 2 that haven't moved in like 2 weeks. Just says in transit, arriving late. So I still have hopes that they're coming, but it's not looking good.
Anything pricey?
Yeah, one was I just picked up like an extra blade. What was it? Like the MDX blade body? Because
Oh man.
I didn't really say anything to anybody, but I'm trying to make Martin Lawrence and Will Smith from Bad Boys. So that was going to be that was going to be one of my bodies that I was going to use for probably Martin. So I still hope I get it, but I don't know.
It's going to be a
catch up is flipping eventually.
It was I got it not with the box, and I think a few accessories were missing. So I mean, it wasn't like retail, but still it would suck to lose that.
So Doug, where do you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where are you joining us from?
I'm joining you from Trenton, which is Trenton, Pennsylvania. I'm about 20 minutes outside of downtown Pittsburgh.
Okay. Steelers fan through and through?
Oh yeah, Steelers fan through and through. I don't do cable.
Okay.
I ditched cable a while ago, so I mean, like,
Good.
I kind of just I watch highlights, kind of. I can't even say I sit down and watch the games. I mean, I got 2 kids, kind of, that they run the TV. So
Oh yeah.
if there's a game going on, Dad's kind of just Googling the Steelers score to see if it updates.
Right. Yeah. Gotcha. And we're going to get into your collection and your photography and stuff like that. But tell us a little bit about your history getting into the fig life.
All right. About 3 years ago, my buddy Brian, we were skating together. We would meet up like on a weekend basis, and he starts telling me, like, whenever we would take breaks from skating and stuff, He would tell me that he found his, what did he say? He found a few totes full of his old wrestlers. So when me and him were growing up, we were real big into the WWF guys.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
So we started reminiscing on, what he was pulling out of these totes, and it was just kind of sparking him back into the toys, And he was just pushing me for like, honestly, a few weeks. I was kind of dogging him. No, I can't really say like bad, but I'd just be like, dude, I can't get back into toys. You know what I mean? I got 2 kids. And he just kept talking about it like weekend after weekend after weekend, and it just, I don't have any of my old stuff that I grew up with,
Right.
but it made me start, like, I had an eBay account already, so I'd go on eBay and I started looking up like older toys that I had, and I pretty much purchased a few old Kenner Batmans. Because I even told him, I even told him, actually, that was one of the things. I was like, I don't know if I can get back into the whole wrestling thing, but I've always loved Batman, like my whole life. I've always collected little odds and end Batman things. So I was like, that's what I could get back into. So yeah, I just bought a few of those Kenner figures that I grew up with, and I wanted to stick to vintage at first. But my buddy Brian even said, dude, once you see how the action figures are these days, you're going to go straight into like the new stuff. And yep, that's ultimately what happened.
Thanks, Brian.
Yep.
And he was right,
Yep. Yep. Sucked me right in for sure. And then it wasn't, honestly, I think I was like a year into it, and I was pretty much like, I won't buy a Mezco. I won't buy a Mezco. They're $80, $100 figures. Well, I don't even know how many I have now, but yeah.
What was your first Mezco? And like, were you sweating it whenever you made that purchase?
Yeah, I took a trip up to like pick up some of my comics that I subscribe at the local comic shop, and I always go up and down the fig aisles, even though they don't ever really get anything new. It's always the same shelf warmers. And they had, what was it? I think my very first one was just the Ascending Knight. I think that's when I hopped on board. Was literally just, that was my first one, was the Ascending Knight. And then my second one that I got, also from the comic store, was the PX Sovereign Knight.
Oh, nice.
Which is, I mean, that's a beautiful figure. That's one of my favorites still. And I didn't really do anything custom to that one. I think I slapped a wired cape on him, but that's about it.
Right.
It's funny you mentioned the Kenner figures they had. I think 5 points of articulation, and
I know.
You probably had so much fun with it back then, and they were great. And then you have a Mezco, which has, I don't know, 28 points of whatever. Right.
It was mind blowing for sure. Like, and then, I mean, I think at first I didn't even really use my Instagram. I think I made one at first, but I didn't really hop onto it and start following a bunch of accounts. I didn't know anything about toy photography or anything like that. And I mean, once I stumbled upon that, I started trying to take cool photos of the figures, and which they weren't very good at first. I still have lots of learning to do. I only dabble in that from time to time.
Yeah.
Right.
As long as you're having fun with it, though,
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It's all it's about.
Yeah.
So what was your first exposure to like other people online, either collecting or doing toy photography? What was like that moment you're like, oh my God, like that's sick, I want to do that?
I want to say the pretty much like probably the first person that inspired me with Batman figs. He was kind of like the first person, honestly, and I mean he does do good work. But that was like I'd see his stuff, and I was like, wow, like that's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah,
right.
He's very much into the animated series, so he like recreates a lot of that.
Yeah.
I thought you meant Just Figures, which is a completely different guy. I think he is also.
I think I've heard of him.
He's a customizer, but
he's in a lot of hot water right now.
Yeah.
I still see some drama out there from time to time, but
I
I
There
stay
is a
out of it.
community and there is some drama. Yeah, you got to watch yourself and steer clear of a couple
Yep.
of people out there.
That's why, like, pretty much, I was just talking to somebody about this. Somebody DM'd me like a week ago, and we got to talking and stuff. And yeah, I just pretty much said I kind of keep all my, what do you want to say, all my beliefs, all my politics, all that stuff. I don't slap on my Instagram toy page. Like, I'm here for toys. I just want to.
Yeah.
I want to see everybody's hobby and work and customs and photos, and it's like it's supposed to be an escape from
Yeah.
all the stuff going on. I don't
Hands
want to see it dragged into the toy community.
That's
I
why.
think there's a lot more good than bad, though. Really
Yeah,
good.
there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just positivity breeds positivity, negativity breeds negativity, and the more you're interacting with like-minded individuals, the better it's going to be. So, I also wanted. Okay, so you go from it sounds like you had a very similar background to us. We all grew up at some point falling into love with Batman, and obviously, the fact that you could have a toy as a kid of Batman was amazing. So. I, just like you, I think my first Batman toy was right before the Kenner, was the Toy Biz stuff. The Kenner stuff was amazing. I think almost everybody else in here probably had a Kenner figure at one point. When you grow up to an adult, though, and you see what they're doing now with action figures, where did you make the jump from just buying them and posing them to then it clicks in your head, you're like, you know what? I could chop that bad boy up and make it better. Because the thing is like I look at your stuff, like the Mezco stuff, and I'm like, God, man, that looks awesome. And then in my head, I'm like, I would be absolutely terrified to chop up a Mezco. Like, it's just like, and I think a lot of people are similar in that they see the end product. The end product looks amazing. The stuff that you do is great. But then I think to myself, like, I could never do that. And not just can I never do that, I could never bring myself to then believe in myself that I could possibly chop up a Mezco figure to make it better than what they've already done. So where did that jump come? How did you make that jump?
Was it a dare?
Was it a dare?
Wedding, whenever I start working on a $20 Marvel Legends, I'm like, man, if I mess up.
Yeah, because
I just burned up.
Dude, Doug, 3 years ago you weren't even collecting, and now you're like Sid from Toy Story. You got fucking toys coming to life behind you.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, it was, the very first one that I did. I didn't even really do too much other than, take his gauntlets off and all that. And it was just straight up dyeing them with that RIT dye. Mm-hmm. My very first one was just dyeing a Sovereign Knight to get that kind of, you remember the prototype photo they gave us for Sovereign Knight? Yeah. And then when he came out, there was a little bit of a lighter difference in our actual product than the prototype photo. The prototype photo was badass. And that was my first one, was literally just dyeing that Sovereign Knight. But somebody said, was it a dare? It was a dare to myself to buy an $80 extra figure. But once I did it, and once I figured out how to heat it up and pull all that stuff off without breaking, because I did try and do a Joker before I dyed my Batman, and I didn't do the heat trick on the boots for the Clown Prince. And I went to pull off a boot, and the peg stayed in the boot.
Oh.
So, I think I've literally broken 2 Mezcos during my whole custom. And that Joker's one of them with that peg in the boot. And then I also snapped a leg on the tactical Batman.
Oh,
well, that's a
man.
But every single time it's dreadful. You don't want to break anything. You want it to be solid, and
That's a pretty good track record, though.
Yeah, that's not
yeah.
Like, how long does it take you?
I've had some luck. Some of them take me. I work on some for up to a week. I have knocked out a good bit in a single night, especially since I've been laid off for the past couple months.
Oh man, sorry to hear that.
Sorry to hear that.
No, yeah, it's all good. It
Well,
happens.
let's take a look at one of your custom Batman. And from what I see, from what you've submitted to us, you are pretty much focused on DC Batman.
All the way.
Why not?
Awesome.
I
Good
don't really
choice.
do Marvel. I don't really do Marvel unless it's Punisher. That's about it.
So here's
Batman all
one.
the way.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
The best Batman ever. Keaton.
There you go.
I love how so I've seen a lot of people like, do a custom of the Mezco and with they'll figure out or they'll try to find a sculpt for maybe it's like a shrunk down Hot Toy sculpt, but they always like use, I don't know what they use, but the symbol never looks as good as that, and yours looks great. And what did you do with the body to make it have that like textured? Which body is that? Because it looks way closer to the ones that I've seen where it's like the super shiny. Which one? I don't know. The black. What's the Onyx, right?
Yeah.
You want to know what, dude? This little, I'm just gonna call this like a kit bash custom because this
Okay.
literally took me about an hour.
What?
So
Ah.
yeah. So I found the body in a Facebook group, and that is honestly, it had the symbol ripped off of the original body, but that's a Batman Beyond Mezco body.
Oh shit!
Oh wow.
Oh,
And
okay.
in a different fodder bag that I bought, somebody sent me that is like that's a Batman symbol off of the PX Sovereign.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The PX Sovereign Knight, and then I think the belt is I just primed a Sovereign Knight belt black, and then I slapped a wired cape on them, and then that head's from Action Figure Customs, and I sent it to Jack. I think he's in London. JCM Comics and Customs
Mm.
for the head. So I had to like wait to get the head, and it kind of all came at the same time, and I was able to literally whip him together in like an hour or two tops.
That's sweet.
That's genius. That Beyond suit is so much
It
better than the
looks-
Onyx.
That's one of my favorites. Like I literally have him standing like in the front on one of my shelves.
Yeah, it's dope.
Well,
Super
if we're
dope,
going
man.
to talk about him, we might as well talk about the other greatest live action Batman.
Oh, there you go.
So
he is my runner up.
Yeah.
I have to say, like, I joke and I put memes up on our Instagram page on the Bad Force, and I poke fun at Christian Bale. This is so fucking beast, dude.
Yeah.
Like this,
I love it.
If this is how he looked like in the second two movies, like he would have looked dope in this suit.
Yep, for sure. I love that, dude. That is, I think before my recent Grim Knight custom, that was my most liked photo, like ever. I mean, obviously, like I don't ever care about likes, but I think before this one, I might have gotten like 300. You know what I mean? Something. This one soared like over 800. Like I went to sleep and woke up the next day and was like, holy smokes!
Yeah.
Everybody loves that Bale.
It's the sculpt is great.
Yeah, that's another one that I got from Action Figure Customs, and then I sent that over to Jack in London.
Well, I think it's also just the concept and the idea. It, like Tom said, if like maybe in the third one, Dark Knight Rises, if he'd come back in a suit like this with that big chest oval symbol, something different and new, oh my gosh, it would have raised that movie to a whole different level. And just, the thought process and the concept behind this, was perfect, especially since this Supreme Knight figure is supposed to be like the older DKR style of Batman. So
Yep. And you want to know how that became? I just literally got pretty much my order back from Jack that day. So I think I sent him 10 heads to paint for me. Just since he was in London, I was like, dude, I'm just gonna send you a bunch. You know what I mean? Take your time. He sent them all back to me, and like you can see everybody standing in the background in that picture. I just had a whole bunch of figures gathered together, and when I picked up Bale's head, I picked up that Supreme Knight, slapped it on, and I was like, dang. That
So
looks
John,
awesome.
do you have to get a special like insert for it to fit on the Mezco peg, or
I was about to ask that. Yeah.
Like for the head.
yeah?
Hold on, let me see it. I actually have my heads right here below me. So I want to say with that action figure customs, he somehow has like the Mezco
Oh,
peg
okay, cool.
casted in there,
Yeah.
and it
He
literally
has the
slips
recipe
right on.
Yeah, he has the recipe for which heads and necks will fit together, and you buy the neck separately if it needs it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So he'll say like this head fits neck size A3, and
yep.
Gotcha.
But
And-
yeah, I was gonna say I did grab a. I don't know if you can really see.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the heads, and it just has. I mean, they usually do fit onto like they click right on. Very
Right.
rarely do I need to use any like sticky tack. You know what I mean?
Mm.
and a perfect segue for the next Big Bash custom was your Grim Knight.
Yeah.
Dope.
Wow.
With the that is a filter. That is not the raw photo. I won't say, but yeah, I threw that into like the little Photoshop app I have and messed with all the settings. But that I really liked the way that looked.
What
That's the
sword is
actual
that? Look at that fucking sword. Yeah, whose sword is that?
That's that sword. Sorry, I have like a little photo here. I'm trying to look in to see. That sword is from Geek Mechanics on Instagram.
Wow.
And I think him and one of his friends maybe run like a little thing called Gotham. What is it? Gotham Construction, maybe.
Yeah,
I
Oh,
could be
okay.
wrong, but yeah, they kind of did a run on those. It was a sword and an axe. There is also like a badass bat axe that I got with it too.
All right.
All right.
And that was pretty clever to use the Justice League tactical Batman for that specific version. That's cool.
This episode's a bad idea because now I'm just looking up all these customizers and having like, okay, what kind of figure can I put together?
That's the big life, man.
Big life, bro.
The ideas don't stop brewing either. They don't. But the Grim Knights those are some of my favorites. I have to give 100% like inspiration credit to honestly Tony May, because I kind of tried to follow exactly what he did in one of his. I asked him about a Grim Knight figure, and he pretty much told me, that it wasn't for sale or anything. So
yeah,
I just kind of looked at his picture, and actually, this is my first one. I think the photo that you just showed before this one was actually like the second one. So it was two different figures.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I noticed that the first one suit was more dyed. I guess you dyed it with
I made him like more blacked out on the second time. Yep.
Cool.
But they're fun. Yeah, just the tactical Batman. Yeah, I didn't really do much to him other than slap some, weapon holsters on him and the backpack full of guns and.
What's
That
awesome?
was pretty much it. Yep. Some paint.
What's been awesome to see is I feel like this character specifically, people fucking loved it when the concept first came out, and not even everybody gets into the comics or anything, but like once you have like a kind of character or design that just hits really cool, everyone just fucking loves it, and like everyone starts popping up, doing their own little versions of it, and it's really cool to see. Obviously, yeah, it's cool to see them in the comics, but then when you got like figure customizers and like toy photographers bringing this thing to kind of life, it's even more badass.
Here's one that another one that I was really impressed with is the Zero Year.
You want to know what? I wish I had better photos of him, but he is one of my favorites. So I don't know why I haven't like properly given him a photo shoot, but I got a lot of love on him. A lot of people like that custom. I think I did like a share for one of my giveaways. I did share one or your favorite custom off of my page, and this one got a lot of love. Now,
another little Easter egg in this photo, directly behind him, way in the back. Is that a Thomas Wayne Mezco custom?
That is. I have two.
Oh,
Wow.
I have two. That one is literally a custom suit that I bought off of Best Lee Studios, I believe.
yeah.
On a Sovereign Knight body and with a custom head and a wired cape and all that. And then the other one that I did is a tactical Batman.
Okay. Yeah. Very cool.
But yeah, this 0 year Batman here, everybody loves that. And I was kind of stumped on what to do with the suit at first because that's a Mix Max body. I just used a Mix Max
okay.
strong body, and literally just whip that together.
Okay, for the Mix Max bodies, but where did you get the boots that connect at the calves?
You know what? Boots are so hard to find. So every once in a while, I'll go on eBay and I'll just type Mezco boots. And for a while, you won't. I mean, I barely find anything ever. But I couldn't tell you whose those are. But I definitely hold on a second. Actually,
Wow.
I think those are Mezco boots.
Oh, they may be from a different line. Okay.
This
Yeah,
is a
they
different
might
level.
be from.
There's a different level
The
of fig
American
life.
flag.
I had to go grab them.
Let's see.
I
Oh,
had to
sick.
go grab them.
Oh wow.
But
wow.
you want to know what? My gears are turning here. These boots actually come off of a Nightwing. Might be like a DC Essentials
Ah,
Oh, shit.
or whatever.
Wow.
Who did the Arkham Origin figures?
DC Direct.
This is, yeah.
Okay, I think that's where I pulled them off of. I definitely know they're Nightwing boots now.
okay, and that's another great segue because I thought this next one was probably the most clever and also one figures that seems to be the most in demand based on the Facebook groups. You used
Oh, wow.
the Spider-Man, right?
Yep,
Make
Far
Nightwing.
From Home suit or whatever. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's Spider Monkey suit.
And I literally pretty much didn't have to touch it other than adding my little Nightwing stuff to them.
Is that called a sonar suit? Is that what it is? What's it called? What's it called in that movie? That suit.
Oh, God, I
I'm not
forget.
I'm not a Spider-Man
Night
guy.
Monkey
So.
or something.
I don't know,
forget
but I
the
ordered it just
technical name.
for. I ordered it because it's so versatile. You can make
Yeah.
a lot of other cool custom designs off of it.
Yeah.
And that's a
I used that.
McFarlane Toys head, right?
Yeah, I just pulled the McFarlane off for the photo because I don't think I had any other Nightwings like on hand when I made this, so I just pulled that McFarlane head off to pop it on there and made it work for a reveal, But I
Cool.
3D printed that chest symbol.
Oh
Wow.
And then painted it and attached it on there.
oh.
Which that was whenever I first started getting into it too. So I was like really happy with myself for doing that. I'm like, that's awesome. This is like that whole getting into the 3D printing stuff was a game changer.
Oh,
That's
hell
your
yeah.
printer in the background, right?
Yeah, that's yep. That's the yellow one's like the curing station, but that
Okay.
little red lid is the printer.
Hmm.
Yep, I love it, man. It's like I said, such a game changer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Now here's was this Gambit? Did you make him out of Gambit?
Yep.
Good job, Gramps.
Sniping it.
Well, it
Yep,
just shows
that's
how
Gambit.
easy people want these the Bat family figures, especially people just beg for Robins. They've got the bodies already made. They could just reuse it if they wanted.
And that's a Nightwing head, I think.
Yep. They could hire me. I'll paint them. But yeah, that was
liking
literally
those
just
trash
Gambit. The
cans,
only thing
too.
that. Oh, those are Tech Decks.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Those are from a Tech Deck series. I would grab them every time I would see those.
See, man, your brain's like an octopus tentacles where you're just constantly pulling ideas and thoughts from like everywhere. Because like I'm too dumb to think of all this shit. Tech Deck trash cans.
Yeah, those things, dude. And actually, I have one behind me here. Let me grab it. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but they open up, and I have this one flickering.
Oh, cool.
shit!
Oh shit!
Can you see it?
Shit!
Yeah.
Like I put a little tea light in there,
yeah.
Nice.
That's
so it
dope.
makes it look like But they're like $3 little tech deck things. Comes with a tech deck and a prop.
Damn, Fig Life.
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
This dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's just
yeah, that
classic.
one. It's so clean, dude. That's one of those Tony May suits. So that's pretty much, I didn't customize that. I just bought the suit, waited for it, and that's a Tony May
and what body is that?
Supreme Sovereign Knight. I use that one a lot.
That looks perfect, man.
Sovereign Knight, and I think that's just a custom head that I also bought from Best Lee Studios.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks
Kind of
dope.
a new 52-esque. Well,
Mhm.
not totally new 52.
I forget what that one was called. It might be just like one of Tony's, designs. I forget what he technically called that one.
Yeah, it's got that Greg Capullo belt, but then it's got the
Yeah.
trunks, so it's
Right.
kind of a hodgepodge.
I
Mm-hmm.
like it.
Mm-hmm.
When did because Tony May used to be kind of like strictly 1/6. When did he start really dabbling in the 112? Do you know? Or have you always known him to do that?
Yeah, kind of ever since I've come across them, maybe like a year and a half ago.
Okay.
It was but if you reach out to him and want anything, he sends you like a
list.
yeah. It's just like it's almost like an automated message.
Yeah.
And you have to and sometimes what you want isn't even in this list. I've come to
Right.
find out.
It's usually it's his girlfriend, I think, who's like, man, he runs a pretty
wife, and everything is, from what I know from dealing with him, is pretty much custom made to order. It's not like he makes 30 of these things at a time. It's just like, okay, I've got the material and the time to make so many of these, whatever.
Mhm.
Like these trunks, for example. I've bought several of these trunks from him, and they fit really well with the Mezcos because
They do.
I like the Batman to have the trunks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it takes that Sovereign Knight figure, and even the Ascending, it just takes them to a totally different level where they look like the comic figures.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, I don't know why Mezco didn't do it, but oh well.
I don't know either. Literally, you could have probably Mezco could have used the extra fabric from the capes to whip up some trunks.
Yeah.
That's all that would have took. But yeah, I do. I love the trunks too.
Oh,
This one really caught my eye. I like this.
That is cool.
That is literally my favorite figure in my collection. Is that Riddler for some reason. And I've always kind of said very underrated character, but one of my favorites, man. Always has been one of my favorite characters.
I like the question mark right on his junk.
I love that suit. That is classic.
He keeps them guessing. You want to know what?
Yeah.
I actually have another one of those coming, but the guy said that he put the question marks on backwards. But I was like, dude, I'll still take that suit. You know what I mean? I think he might have knocked off a few bucks for messing it up, but I'm like, I'll have two Riddlers with one with a backwards question mark suit.
Reverse Riddler.
That actually, that would be sick for like a character or like an arc.
Yeah.
Where he just snorts too much fucking Colombian Bam Bam and just goes nuts for a little bit.
Riddler's nemesis and has all the answers.
And then that jail cell is one of my little 3D print projects that I did. I think when I found that file, it was a free file, but it was scaled down for Playmobil kids animals. So I pretty much just had to take proper measurements and enlarge it and make a little jail cell for all the Gotham villains. But that turned out good.
So,
Yeah,
little
absolutely.
Pro Tools tip: once you get the reverse question mark figure, you can take your normal photos and literally 180 flip it, and it'll be right.
Yep.
So
There it is.
there you go. Get a discount and keep a great fig. I really like this one,
Oh yeah.
That's great.
and more so because this is kind of one of your. And I know you have more. This is kind of an actual scene. You've got
Yeah.
really cool Joker there. I like that head
It's,
sculpt on the guy.
The Paul Harding.
yeah.
Paul Harding sculpt.
Yep. I
And
think
the Joker mobile.
yeah, one of my customs whenever I was customizing those vans. That's like that Scooby
So-
van. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
the
that's
dude
so
that was
sick.
doing that. Holy
Yep.
shit!
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That is
But yeah,
super dope.
Holy shit!
Obviously I don't really do toy photography like all that much. So yeah, that last photo, I was kind of happy with that one. And
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
it
even
came out
before
great.
that was before I got the stickers for it too.
Oh,
So it was just like a blank bare green and purple van.
so
I think prime to the first. His
Yeah.
name's Josh. We kind of did like I think I ended up customizing and selling like 10 or 11 of these bad boys in all different variations. And I can't really say like we collabed on it, but people would buy the vans off of me and then they would hit up Josh for the stickers for it. So that was a fun project. Like
That's cool.
here's another fun one. I like this one.
Wow, look at that.
yeah.
Rumble
Yep,
Society.
that's I love that one.
For
And
the
that
pink skulls.
I think I kept like I literally customized and sold, like I said, maybe 10 of them, and I think I have 6 or 8 still in my personal collection. So
Oh, really?
I customized a lot of vans to the point where I would turn down, like people were still hitting me up, hey man, will you make me a van? And I was just so burnt out of making these vans that I just kind of stopped doing it and moved on to something new.
That's how it goes.
Yep.
Wow.
But yeah,
Where's
those were a
though?
lot of fun.
Where did you get the vans? What was that?
That
Scooby Doo.
was I think it was a Walmart exclusive, like only
Yeah,
a
Walmart has
Walmart
those.
Scooby Doo van. They're $20 a piece.
Wow.
I still see them in my Walmart, and I'm like, should I pick it up for something?
There you go.
But now I'm
Yep.
about to start customizing vans.
And they fit people perfect. I mean, I have shot some photos with people inside and like hanging out the window and whatnot. So they're good for figs, man. They are good $20. You can deck
Customize
it out.
wheel.
Somebody else that uses a van.
Nice.
Dude, I love this because, I mean, I've had this exact idea in my head for years, thinking, how can I get one of these bench press sets in a bar?
I forget who sells that.
Easy.
I forget who sells that. Somebody popped up on Facebook one day that they were selling the bench press and everything, and I was like, I've wanted one for a while. I think my buddy, like I said, Brian, back to Brian with the wrestlers, he has a few bench presses from WWE figures.
Yeah.
But yeah, I bought this off of somebody. If I figure it out after the video, I'll shoot it over.
Okay, cool.
The
I like
name
that.
for the, because it is a cool piece. If I even sprayed it, that's unpainted. I still want to spray it like a silver or something for the actual bar.
I was wondering.
I get excited when I get stuff, so I just set it up and shoot it sometimes.
So you're like on a bunch of Facebook pages then where you're like kind of watching for custom stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whole
new world.
I try not to buy a lot off of Facebook just because I see a lot of people get scammed and whatnot. But knock on wood. I just like going on there, and I'm kind of getting sick and tired of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one I'm on. I'm a big fan of the NECA TMNT line.
Oh, okay.
But
Nice.
every time a figure drops, dude, so many people are so angry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To the point to where it's just annoying to get on there because everybody's just bitching and complaining that they can't get the figure, And I mean, like, I'm one that can't get the figure either, but don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of it's grown men crying over toys. It's pretty embarrassing sometimes.
You got to reach
Yeah,
out to Everything Batman 219. You can find turtles.
It's true.
Yeah, our very own Dunk Dave puts those miles in the aisle, bro.
I went to 7 stores today, so yeah, hit me up.
I was gonna say I've met a few people that have actually helped me out in the community, but it seems like a lot of people are just taking these pictures of what they're seeing in Target and
Putting
they're
it
not
back.
willing. Yeah, I'm just like, why do you even take this photo if you're not willing to help people out? Like, hey, I saw this today.
For the clout.
I take pictures if you go to my story, and it's like I'm probably picking up for someone in this chat here, or you know, Bat Force, or like just any of my boys. Like it's a community, and that's how you help each other out. So if you need
Sometime,
anything, man,
Oh,
I'll be
I appreciate that.
sitting there. I'll be sitting there on my computer, just like work sucks or whatever, and I get a text message from Dunk, and it's like he found the one fucking figure that I've been looking for like 3 months. I was like, yes, Dunk, yes.
like most of the figures behind me in boxes, they're not mine. I just got to ship them after.
And it makes your day. That makes
Hell
your
yeah.
day.
I've
So-
only seen those turtle figures in the stores once in New York. It's crazy.
There's one Walmart. I just take all the turtle figures all the time, and it's like, all right, who needs these? And it's like, you know, just make sure you pay shipping. That's all I care about.
So, Doug,
I
you're also not only do you kit bash these, and it looks like mostly Mezcos, but you're also doing 3D printing. How did you get into that, and like what have you made that you know, for your own collection and whatnot?
I've always kind of wanted to get into the 3D printing. Once I used to make dios. Like when I first got into custom making anything, it was dioramas.
Yeah.
And me and my buddy Brian would always sit here and talk about, you know, how much the 3D printing, like if you're into action figures and into customizing, you pretty much need to be into 3D printing. So the gears were kind of always turning for it, but I think my mindset was like everybody else's at first, like it's going to cost a lot of money to get into. Just with the programs, I didn't think I was going to be able to pretty much operate and do the whole process, but it's so simple, man. Like that one machine that I have was pretty much pull out of the box, make sure that it's level, pour the resin in, and start printing. It's super simple. But I'd say like my mom passed away in May.
Sorry to hear that.
Man.
Thanks, man. But after that, I don't know. Like obviously the figs kept my mind as positive as it can be. You know what I mean? It kept me going, and then that's actually like when I finally pulled the trigger on let's get a 3D printer and finally get into that. And
wow,
that's kind of how it all started. You know, as far as stuff that I've made for the collection, like I said, I kind of that jail cell. I was sitting here one night and I was like, man, I'd really like a jail cell to just set some figures up from time to time and shoot a photo maybe.
Yeah.
So I looked one up and I found that one for free, the free file, and I just had to rescale it. It's kind of just thinking of like, what do I want? Let's see if I can find it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then obviously
saw,
people see me doing it now, so I get recommendations now. Hey, can you print me this? Hey, can you print me that? I don't know how to design yet. I want to get there to design. Like, you know, you hit me up and I'll make it rather than trying to reach out and find it on the web somewhere.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, I saw you had made a pretty cool like skull with a movable hinge jaw.
Yep. Yeah, that was I think that was like the file that I found for that was like literally a human head sized. So I just took
It was a bat
measurements.
skull.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
that was sick.
It was
I
like
have
a
the red hood
huge.
as well. You have a couple of red hoods for.
That newest red hood that I have is that's that Figure Gear 3D. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them. They started selling their files.
Oh, they had a different name and they changed it recently, right?
Yeah, I think
I bought
they kind of. Excuse me.
I know they changed for some odd reason, whatever. But I'm waiting for a
Yep.
Ninja head I bought from them a while back. But
I think
we'll
they
see.
were 112 shop, and they didn't really
Yes,
have a good reputation
yeah,
with getting orders out. I think they just got bombarded and overwhelmed. They couldn't take on the orders they couldn't produce the orders that they took on.
I know he put out a list of orders that he shipped recently, to try to gain some confidence back. So
Yeah, for sure.
So
That's
for
how
our
it goes.
viewers, you can actually go over to Doug's Instagram at Batman Figures 412 and see some examples of these 3D sculpts, like this Batsuit chamber. I'm looking at that going, I need that.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I need to make a little adjustment. I need to make the walls a little bit thicker. My little prototype print. If you see maybe on some of those photos, you can see the side walls are a little wavy. Unless I got the right angle for the photo.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, I didn't notice.
I need to make a slight adjustment so that they just print flat, obviously.
But
that fits the Mezco figures perfect. Awesome bat chamber.
we're taking pictures. What do you use?
For most of my recent photos, I just use my iPhone, which I don't really like doing, but I do have two nice cameras. I've always used my Canon Rebel T3, I think I have. T3i, I think it's called.
Okay.
But I recently got a Nikon D3500. I just don't know how to properly use it yet.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah. And I'm just always doing something. I'm always busy doing something, so I just haven't gotten around to really messing with that camera yet.
Yeah.
I just grabbed the phone real quick and
See what you can do.
Set up some lights and shoot one real quick.
I mean, that's the beauty of the internet. With YouTube, you can find whatever very quick photo lesson, and it's really helped me. I mean, I'm like you. I was using my phone forever, and my wife got me a nice Nikon D3400, and it's just trial and error. But I was tired of making so many errors, and I was like, I need to kind of know just the ground basics. And I'm still a beginner level photographer, unlike Tom here, who is a professional concert photographer. If you need assistance, reach out to Tom because he is a professional.
Heck yeah. I mean, I've always loved photography. Like I was talking earlier before we started about the skateboarding. So I kind of rolled that into the toy stuff I started doing. I was like, well, I kind of already know somewhat of how to take a photo of action sports. So setting up some action figures shouldn't be that hard. It's just angles, man. I tell that to everybody.
That's what's cool is like
I gotta plug my phone in real quick.
No worries. That's what's cool is like I think for a lot of people, you start out as a kid, you get your interests and your hobbies, you have you got that going, and then life happens, and you go however way you need to go to like make a living, or you get sidetracked, and then now that we're at a certain age, this thing comes around where anyone can buy a toy, anyone can buy an action figure, and so. And you go online, you start seeing how people are kind of doing and getting creative. And then you really start seeing like how creative and artistic people are by how like they start customizing their toys, how they start, like taking pictures and ideas of angles and shit. And it's like, that's kind of like, it's like, oh, damn, this guy has been like a creative mind his whole life. It's just now that he has the opportunity and time to sit down and do it. Like, he's kind of fleshing it all out. So it's always cool to see like, holy shit. Like you see these guys that'll get like so good, however long it takes that you've been doing it. There's a guy that'll start like, oh, I just started last year. And then you look at his stuff now and it's like, oh my God, like this guy has leaped into like a freaking professional toy photographer in less than a year. And it's really cool to see.
Yep. I like seeing behind the scenes. Like I don't do it myself very often. I probably should, just because like I like seeing it. So I, you know what I mean. I know other people enjoy seeing behind the scene photos, because some stuff I'm like, how did you do that? And then you'll see the behind the scenes, and it's like, it was that easy. I would have never thought of that.
Yeah, masterminds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or
Super
just
creative.
knowing how to, you know, focus in and get the right aperture to blur out the background, where, you know, you could take a photo of just random stuff in the background, but as long as your focus is on, you know, the figure in the foreground, it looks like they're actually in a true environment behind them. It's crazy. Plus, there's a lot of cool digital editing apps. There's a guy that I follow that I'm just blown away by his stuff. His name's Mr. Bob, at Mr. Bob. And he'll just take a photo of his figure just standing on a table with, you know, in whatever background is in the background. But he's so good at editing that he'll edit out the background and put in whatever he needs and make this thing look like it's just 3D. It's great. I love it.
Mr. Bob.
Mr. Bob.
Mr. Bob. I was gonna say, I don't know if I follow Mr. Bob or not, but I'll check him out.
Check him out. MRBOB. Mr. Bob.
Rushing it with the IG name.
Yeah. Well, Doug, we're really impressed with what you do.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I look at your stuff and I'm like, wow, that kind of inspires me. Maybe if he can do it with these mezcos, maybe I can try to do some stuff. But we wanted to, you know, help you out a little bit also. And, you know, part of our thing that we do with guests is we're sponsored by Loom Cube. So as part of, you know, being on the show with us, we want to pass along, you know, a gift from Loom Cube. So you'll be receiving the Panel Mini Loom Cube
no way.
light. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, guys. That's awesome.
So
very well.
nice little Christmas present.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Congrats.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So
yeah, man, that little thing is so freaking powerful and awesome.
I've heard so much. I have the little cube, but what is it? The Panel Mini? You said?
Yeah.
I think I've been seeing ads for that lately, and I'm like, man, you know, obviously I got to buy stuff for other people, not myself. But I've wanted one of those, so that's awesome that I'm gonna have one.
There you go, man.
There you go.
Enjoy it.
Heck yeah.
So that's your basement right there?
It is. Yeah.
Big ass basement, man. That's a big ass basement.
I had to turn this into my little bat cave, I like to call it. I had it in the attic after I bought the house, but the attic's uninsulated. So in the winter, cold as heck.
Yeah.
In the summer, it was, dude, it would get so hot up there that my figures would fall over because they were getting so like, you know what I mean? You'd go to bend one of the arms and like the joint would bend.
Wow.
Like the peg would bend, you know what I mean? So like it was just like my figs were almost melting. And I was like, oh no, I packed everything up like that same day. I figured out. I went up there actually, and none of my stuff would ever fall over. And I went up there after a few days, and I had like 20 figs falling over in like my different cabinets. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? And then it dawned on me with just how hot it was. So moved everything down here into the basement.
Yeah.
And at least I can get some heat down here. So
gotta keep them figs upright, man.
Keep them comfortable.
I haven't had any issues down here, and I think I've been down here since May. So I'm liking the basement cave.
Nice.
Kind of where the cave belongs. Right?
Yeah. Definitely.
Behind me is all my shelves full of plastic bins. That's my super organized. I don't think I have OCD, but I definitely need to know where everything's at. And it's got to be
nice,
packed up and sorted.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're going to kit bash like you do, I mean, you've got to have some organization.
Sometimes I'm still all over the place, but
yeah,
it's nuts.
But yeah, dabble in it, man. Customize something. I love seeing everybody I know it's still nerve wracking for me, believe it or not, but it's a lot of fun to see what you can turn these things into for sure.
I might do that with like McFarlane figs because I don't know if I could do that with a Mesco.
Yeah. Start light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have like
Start with
3
that.
White Knight Jokers. I'll start with one.
I turned one of those Mezco or one of those McFarlane Joker figures into a Mezco.
Oh, the head. That's sick.
It was the White Knight.
Yeah.
Or Curse of the White Knight Joker figure that came with like the Jack Napier
Mhm.
blank
Okay.
on, you know what I mean?
His head.
I pretty much chopped up the McFarlane figure, ripped that vest off, and I turned him into a Mezco custom.
All
Oh,
right.
Yep.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yep, I turned that
Three
one.
of them for some reason.
I tried keeping the same look, but I turned it into a Mezco instead of a
Right.
McFarlane.
I know people have been adding the thigh swivel to the McFarlane figures.
I know, I see that, and that blows my mind. I don't know how. I don't know how to even start attempting to do that.
You gotta keep the leg, and then you could actually cut through it with a razor, like a straight razor, and it'll go like right through the plastic. Well, first you
That
gotta
makes
take the leg
sense.
off. It's a whole process,
Yeah.
but the
Yeah.
peg is long enough that you can
video.
actually do it.
Yeah, there's a YouTube video, and I mean, literally, this guy explains it in a way that he does it in like 5 minutes, and it's simple as just heating up the figure, popping off the leg, reheating the leg where you need it, and pulling out the peg,
Yeah.
and then just taking a razor and just going, whoosh, and then putting the peg back through because it'll lock in both halves that the halves of the legs that you cut, and then snapping the bag back on. It's
Wow.
crazy, and it works so well.
I think that's
I might
Bill
have-
Mahoney.
I might have to try that.
I'm gonna try it on that new Thomas Wayne that came out because he's got those straps perfectly where you can do a cut like right above the strap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. I'm looking at one right now that you say that.
Yeah.
That was a nice.
Those are.
Right?
I was gonna say those are nice figures, dude. I
Yeah.
was impressed with that Thomas Wayne.
Yeah.
Not really the unmasked. I kind of looked at the face, and I could kind of care less about their unmasked version myself.
But it
But
comes with the
I'll
sword,
still
though.
grab it.
It has that
What's that?
sword. It comes with the Thomas Wayne sword.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I want to get it.
Oh, I didn't know they were doing
Yeah.
a
Is
sword with that one.
Which sword is that? The Wonder Woman sword? Whose sword is that? Flashpoint, right?
Flashpoint.
Yeah.
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 I think
Yeah.
that's January, end of January or mid-January.
Yeah, I think so.
I was gonna say I have my Flashpoint custom standing with a sword, but I was gonna say at first I didn't know which one it was, but I used the Spawn sword.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, people have been using
Yeah.
the Azrael sword.
Oh yeah. I might have that tucked away in one of these freaking bins behind me.
I got 2 Azraels too, and 2 Azraels Aspats. I got so many White Knights.
It's
Yeah.
never going to end. Never going to end. What are some ideas that you have for 2021 for customs that you're going to try or that you would like to see come out?
Oh boy, that I would like to try. I don't know if I said it while we were live here, but I want to complete my Marcus Burnett and Mike Lowry, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence customs. Dude,
man.
that is like, Batman and Robin's my dynamic duo, but they are like that duo of Martin Lawrence and Will Smith has just always been a favorite of mine. I love those two together. And I was surprised when I got back into the action figure stuff. I've looked it up before, like Bad Boys action figures, and there's nothing. Like they've never been action figured. So I'm like, I need these dudes.
Got to have it.
That'd
And that's
be
when that
cool.
3D printer's going to come into work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually, that's what I did. I reached out to somebody that pretty much designs files. So I reached out to him. It's a dude that makes head sculpts. And I asked him to make me Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. And honestly, I have Will Smith already. But he said Martin Lawrence is going to be a little bit more work. So
You got Mike Lowry already?
yeah, I do have my Mike Lowry. He's still unpainted, but
Okay.
I do have my Will Smith file already. So
That's cool.
that'll be fun to finish.
Martin Lawrence
It's not.
always needs a bit of more work.
That's not bad. Yeah, that's that'll be fun to finish. That's not Batman related. I pretty much stick Batman related 98% of the time though.
Pretty much is like that's Batman and Robin.
Yeah. Yep.
They're partners.
I don't know. Figures coming out though. We need some more villains from Mezco, Batman related. I want to say or just give us a legit Robin or a legit Nightwing.
Did you get the Beast?
I did not get the Beast yet, dude. I didn't pre-order him.
Oh.
But I want him now. Now that I've seen him coming in and seeing photos, I'm like, yeah, I need KG
You gotta
Beast.
get on that because it's pretty popular.
Don't they have Mr. Freeze and Two-Face too coming out? Oh, there he is.
Gramps got his. I got mine on Monday.
Nice.
This dude has some awesome accessories, and one thing, he comes with this like spear tip that you can put with his, his hand that's cut off. I about poked that thing through my finger. That's how, dude. That thing is sharp and it is solid, and so I was very impressed.
Those ascending night heads, man. Those things can be lethal. I've almost tried before I really knew how to handle them and stuff. Like I would go to pop that off, and like I've almost taken the ascending night head through the palm of the hand.
But no, KG Beast, he is a beast. He's really cool, and his shoulder pads have spikes, and they're sharp. It's not like soft little rubbery accessory parts on him. I mean, it's pretty thick plastic. But he looks great, and his unmasked head, it'll look great on other figures. If you want to make other bad guys, whatever.
Yep.
Yep.
So that unmasked head is pretty cool.
That's really what sold me. I mean, I like KG Beast. Not, I agree. I want more villains. But when I saw that they were putting the unmasked head, I was like, oh, yes, I got to have this.
Yeah.
Unmasked from every character. Just because, like.
They need to do Bane with the Bluto body.
Yeah, cool. But his legs are really short.
Oh, yeah? I haven't opened mine yet.
I've got him. And he looks like an animated Bluto, but his legs are really short. I mean, he's still like 8 inches tall, but
this is one of my
oh man.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, very sexy.
That's one of the favorite put togethers here. I know it's probably glaring like crazy, but the Hush.
Wow.
That would be dope. Yeah.
I didn't really do much to that. That's why I kind of didn't send it over. I feel like it wasn't like that's just like a suit that I bought off of somebody and I waited for it. It came with the suit, the belt, the painted head. So that's a Gambit body with Gambit's coat.
Damn.
I literally just painted like the boot silver on that. So I didn't do much other than like kit bash them together. Like I said, just ripped the vest off of Gambit and pieced them together.
What's funny? Cool. When you start kit bashing these figures, you start seeing, for me, I start seeing the ideas of how some of these comic creators and artists basically kit bash other characters and make Deadpool. Make other characters. They just take pieces off this guy and this guy, and boom.
Different company.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like the way that I customize nowadays with the Mezcos, a lot easier than my very first custom. I think I used like 4 or 5 different action figures to piece together my very first Casey Jones.
Oh, okay.
It was like the torso was from somebody, the legs were from somebody, his arms was from somebody. So yeah, I had to Frankenstein my first Casey Jones together. So the Mezco stuff might be a little bit more pricey and a little bit more nerve-wracking, but for the most part, it's been easier.
Do you get the the KOs to work on? Or?
Recently, I mean, if it's a Batman, I'm not gonna lie, I'll just buy another Sovereign Knight. Big Bad Toy Store pretty much has them almost on unlimited stock, it seems like. So I just hop on there and I'll buy one of those. Obviously, the 3D printing, I try and fund the hobby with the money that I make from the hobby.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually like one time I made a pretty big order from that guy VC Toys box.
Mhm.
He does
Oh,
like
yeah, I
the
ordered
mix.
from him.
He does the mix max bodies. So like, I pretty much, if I have extra money, I'll grab a couple blank bodies and wait for them to come in. But I kind of have a stash of those, and yeah, if it's a Batman, I'll just usually try and grab a legit Batman body. Just work off of that. Which those Facebook groups come in handy because usually sometimes I can
Yeah.
find like a Sovereign for $65
Nice.
compared
That's
to
dope.
80 plus shipping and all that jazz. But yeah, that's what I do with that.
Okay. Well, I think that's a pretty good stopping point, and we don't want to take up all your time tonight. But Merry Christmas, and
Amen.
thank you so much for joining us. We'll get all your contact info and get that LoomCube Panel Mini sent your way.
Yeah.
Hey, I
Thank
greatly
you, Doug.
appreciate that,
It's fun
guys.
talking to you.
I'm honored to be on here. This was honestly like my first time even doing anything like this, but super
Nice.
cool. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yeah, good.
It's cool,
All right.
man. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, guys. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Doug.
Thank you.
Have a good night, guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, bro.